Are we insane? For real, like, are we insane? How many of us have to lose loved ones? How much of our mental health has to be fucked up until we decide that, oh, we need to actually fix this? Watch how they use their influence to try to make you think, oh, it wasn't racial. It wasn't racially driven. They're now going on a full-blown campaign to just paint this guy as cuckoo.
Peyton Gendron was mentally ill. His classmates knew that. Gendron made strange facial expressions and said odd things in class. Last year, he showed up for school for a full week wearing a hazmat suit. Boots, gloves, everything, recalled another student. Police and school administrators understood perfectly well that Gendron was potentially dangerous. That's why they sent him to the psych ward.
This photo shows 2 of the 3 weapons the accused gunman brought to the attack. It was covered with writings which included a racial slur and the phrase, "White Lives Matter."
White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison.
Today, President Biden called Saturday's massacre an act of domestic terrorism. Speaking to a community in pain, he condemned the racism that drove a gunman to target black people at a Buffalo supermarket, killing 10 and wounding 3 others.
We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America.
What's up? Question. With all due respect, since we're at war, I wonder if we can get some kind of economic aid like Ukraine received, or something past the parallel the Asian hate crime bill. I mean, I'm just saying, can we get something to mitigate this hate that we have to endure? Can we get something other than thoughts and prayers? Who is the onus on to fix white supremacy? There's a thought. Because I'm tired of these broadisms, these broad statements that, oh, we have to come together and it's going to take time. How much time?
Do you think things will get better moving forward?
It takes time because, like you said, ain't nothing's going to change overnight, no one. We all need to change it, like I said, got to come together to make that change.
Like, are we insane? Are we? I don't think I really even need to give the definition of insanity, but we know it's to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Is that not what we're doing? I do think that the mainstream media, the media plays an important role of disseminating false information. And I also feel like they do embolden people to do certain things. They often give a lot of disinformation, which then results in, white supremacists feeling the way they do. They keep talking about this thing called replacement theory. I remember as a kid even hearing about little rumblings of, that's part of what causes that, what they call white fear, is, white people feeling like they'll become the minority. And then for some reason, they think that black people are like chomping at the bit to become in charge so we can overthrow them and be, do to them they did to us. And they feel like the tables will turn and we're going to take over. Like, from what I gather, it's all bullshit, because that in itself shows that there's a war going on, because they think that way. They think that we want to go to war with them. Like, if you watch how these media pundits battle back and forth and talk about stuff that you probably don't think about in your daily life. You probably don't think about minority, majority, white people become minority, black people majority. Like, you probably don't think about that. But if you watch the news, they like to push that type of information out. And then it's misinterpreted by each side that has an agenda. So I watched as Fox News made it sound like there's this great takeover that the Democrats and black people want to, and people of color want, when in fact, it's the only reason that they're saying that, and they take pride in That's because for so long, this country has been majority run by white men. We know that. Look at the presidents. How many presidents? Look at the presidents. Just look at all of them. White men. White men. Obama. White men. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about equality, ask yourself, is that really equality? And why wouldn't people be happy to see some diversity? See, that's what it is. They're misinterpreting our need and desires for diversity as us wanting to take over. That is not the case. And so let's get back to the mental health aspect. Look at all of these people that are affected for life in Buffalo.
This is white supremacy, it's racism, it's terrorism, and it's being perpetuated against us, against people of color.
The hatred that visited this community has left a deep scar.
For him to take all those lives at 18 with so much hate is hurt. So much hate is hurt. Like, how do you hate people that much and do that?
Took away my mother and my best friend. How dare you?
The little 8-year-old baby that saw all of that. You don't think she's mentally scarred for the rest of her life?
8-year-old London Thomas was at the store with her parents when the shooting started. She hid with her father inside a milk cooler until they were rescued by police.
I wasn't really scared. I was scared for my mom because I thought something happened to her.
The older woman who said that her sister was behind her and ended up getting killed.
But 65-year-old Celestine Cheney did not escape. She was shopping for ingredients to make a strawberry shortcake with her sister Joanne Daniels. They were about to exit the store when they heard gunshots.
People was running in. They running in, and I guess they ran over her. So I reached down to try to pick her up. And she said, go ahead, I'm coming.
We really have to put the pressure on the people that are perpetuating these tragedies and these crimes. We really have to focus on how, this is what I propose. I feel like the onus is on white people, more so than black people. And I'll tell you why. How many of you white people have relatives that have exhibited racist tendencies?
Security at the scene attempting to de-escalate the situation, but things took a turn when the woman hurled a racial slur.
Ma'am, he's not going to serve it, so please leave. Why? Oh my God. That's what he is.
The woman doubling down on the racist insult next to children that appeared to be with her.
How many? Now, ask yourself, do you check them when they do that?
Harder for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
You're calling people of color black animals. You're calling them animals. Are you kidding me?
You didn't let me finish.
That's not okay. No matter what, that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay. Racism is not okay.
Do you try to educate them when they do that? Do you chastise them when they do that? Or do you just sit by and be like, what do you do? What is your reaction to your relative that exhibits racist tendencies? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So ultimately, education is the key. But unfortunately, they don't listen to us. We can educate them as much as we want, but they ain't listening to us. But they might listen to you. They might. And if they don't, hold them accountable. So see, that's why I say the onus is on your shoulders. If your uncle says something racist, check him. If your aunt or aunt says something racist, check her, educate her. If you see any of your friends or family teaching their children or saying anything around their children that is racist, check that. Does that sound hard? I know it's uncomfortable. It can probably be uncomfortable, but guess what? It's these uncomfortable conversations that need to be had if we want change. See, a lot of people would tell you, oh yeah, like they said on the news story. What they said was, oh yeah, no real change comes without pain.
Be clear, there has never been a huge change without there being some hurt. And so at the end of the day, that's what healthy grieving looks like.
I mean, I guess that works for lifting weights. No pain, no gain. But do we really have to keep losing people in order for change to happen? The fact that when a crime, a murder, shootings, whatever, you know, they like to point to Chicago a lot. They like to point to Chicago. Notice that the parts of Chicago they're pointing to are the same hoods that they created, right? If you know your history, right? We know that those are the same hoods and ghettos that they created, right? What type of mentality do you think those type of environments create and perpetuate? What type of mental health state would people be in when they're relegated to those environments? So then the question becomes, why don't they utilize the mental health reason for when people shoot people in those hoods that they created? Ever think about that? But the murderers that I will not name can always get that excuse. They even take the most weird, crazy looking mugshots of those guys just to drive home the fact that they're crazy. But see, the trick is to make us look like we're just, you know, inherently violent, that we just murder, that black on black crime is a real thing when it isn't. But when a white person does these things, which happens more often than they'll report, he is a lone wolf. He's crazy. But a black person does it. And you know what the sad part about that is? When a black person does something, I'll say the black community helps out in the slandering of that black person. And they help out in making us look like we're inherently violent as well. You want to know how? Because what happens is we jump on this bandwagon of, come on, black people, we got to do better. We got to do this. So we take the actions of one or a few and we take accountability of those actions. Oh, come on, black people. We wonder why they look at us like that. We wonder why the police are killing us. We wonder why we don't. Stop that. Is that not what we're doing? The script plays out the exact same way each and every time. Our pain is always politicized. We hear over and over again, and the solution to the attacks is gun control. And now our pain is transformed into a jousting session between the media pundits who represent the donkey and the elephant, blaming one another when the real culprit is out there celebrating and high-fiving in their little white robes or whatever they wear these days. We know it's a white supremacist attack. Is the FBI on them like they were with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and other people who they consider to be black extremists? Is the FBI on the white extremists? They're probably planning their next attack. And that's the sad thing. But while they're planning their next attack, and by they, I'm talking about the white supremacists, the ones that are high-fiving and dancing around in their little they dumb looking white robes or whatever they wear these days, the ones that are doing all that, they probably planning their next attack. Meanwhile, the mass media is pointing the blame at each other. Oh, it's our leader's fault. It's his parents' fault. It's y'all fault. It's the donkey fault. It's the elephant's fault. instead of really just buckling down on what really needs to change. And y'all need to go out them white supremacists, period. Oh, our First Amendment rights are being threatened. Oh, we can't say what we want to say. Oh, let's attack who needs to be attacked in the situation. We're at war domestically, and all we get is thoughts and prayers. We spent all that money to find international terrorists. We spent all that money to go over there and find all those terrorists over there. We spent all the resources and money and all, but we have domestic terrorists that we kind of just verbally condemn. We slap them on the wrist. Hey, stop doing that. Stop it. It's bad. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about your words. They don't care about your tears. They don't care about your thoughts and your prayers. They don't care about any of that stuff. Newsflash. White supremacists don't care about impassioned speeches. They don't care about tears. They don't care about thoughts. They don't care about prayers. They don't care about that. You know what they care about? They care about writing racist rhetoric on their rifles, taking said rifle, and expending bullets into Black bodies. That's what they care about. They revel in that. They celebrate that. Go figure, right? What do we do from here? Because I'm gonna tell you, mentally, it affects me mentally. It does, because I feel like I said, I felt safer in Afghanistan and Iraq. Maybe because I was carrying Lucille around with me. Maybe because I was carrying Peggy Sue around with me. She won the 22. Shout out Jay-Z. But maybe because I knew that if shit was to pop off, it could pop off. I knew if shit was to pop off, I could pop off. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. No, it's not. If you're legally able, you better go get you something. Yeah. You better go get something. Just for a little bit of peace of mind. Just to know that if it pops off, you can pop off. Yeah. Because they will.
There's more like him. There's more like him across these United States of America.
What are you willing to do so that the next time it's not you standing here before your broken-hearted family?
I feel for the people in Buffalo. And I just want everybody to stay strong, for real. With that said, no bad energy. I love y'all. Peace.